everybody. This week our story for reading is the Red Kayak, and I'm going to go over your amazing words or your content words with you. So let's get started. So the question that we're going to be covering this week is what inspires people to act courageously? And you can see our little diagram right here, and this is the way that we're going to be determining what inspires people to act courageously. So our main idea is acting courageously, and our properties that are coming off of that are actions, feelings, characteristics, and situations. So when we're looking at the people in the stories that we're reading, we're going to think, how are they acting, or what are their actions? What are their feelings, or how are they making other people feel? What characteristics do they have? And what situations are they doing those actions in? And that's going to help us to determine what inspires people to act courageously. So our amazing words that we're going to go over today are terrified, treacherous, bravery, and heroine. I'm going to read the story Run, Kate, Shelley, Run. It's a nonfiction story, and I want you to listen for those amazing words that we just saw. I'll go back to them one more time. Terrified, treacherous, bravery, and heroine. And when I'm reading the story, I want you to listen and see if you can figure out what those words mean, and then we'll go over the meaning of the words after. So let's read. Kate Shelley's home stood on a hill above Honey Creek in the railroad line that led to Montgomery, Iowa. Kate was 15 years old in July 1881 when the Great Storm began. After nearly a week of rain, the creek was a wild bull, roaring and leaping, crashing against the high bluffs that caged it on either side. It was nearly 11 o'clock when Kate heard number 11's whistle. Long, short, screaming into the wind. Suddenly, Kate heard a crack like thunder, and another, and then another. With the sound like cannon fire, the Honey Creek trestle bridge, the engine, and 4 terrified crewmen crashed into the roaring water 20 feet below. Kate pulled on her barn coat and a battered straw hat. "I'm going," she said. Before Kate could think of a way to help the men, a terrible thought struck her. The Midnight Express was scheduled to come through in less than an hour. The train, its crew, and 200 passengers were right now, this minute, headed toward Honey Creek, not realizing that the bridge was out. Over 200 people could die. She had to stop that train. Kate gripped the lantern tighter and stumbled along the rails, following them like a road in the blackness and storm. She ran and fell, slipped and stumbled, toward the Montgomery Railroad station over a mile away. Between Honey Creek and the Montgomery station, the railroad crossed the Des Moines River. The storm shook the Des Moines River Bridge until it swayed and trembled. The rain fell even harder. Mud and water made the crosstides slick and treacherous. How could anyone cross this bridge, caught between the wind, the rain, and boiling, angry river? Kate knelt down and crawled forward on her hands and knees. She could crawl for those 200 people. Only a little farther, Kate told herself when her hands finally felt mud and stones instead of empty air between the ties. She was safe across the bridge now. It was a half mile to the station. When she saw the station lights, Kate ran like a wild woman. Every breath hurt. She crashed into the station door and fell inside. Stop the train," she gasped. "The engine, Honey Creek, stop the train." Between gasps for air, Kate told the Honey Creek bridge had collapsed. "2 men are still alive," she said, "and the Midnight Express must be stopped." The station agent telegraphed 6 miles west to Ogden to be sure the Midnight Express would not be allowed to continue in the storm. The same telegraph that had warned Ogden Station told the Midnight Express sent news of Kate's bravery from city to city. Within days, newspapers all over the nation were calling her the Iowa heroine. So when we were reading that story, we talked about those 4 amazing words that we would hear, and each of them were used. The first word we heard was terrified, and terrified just means to be very afraid. And we saw that in the story and how the 4 crewmen felt. They were afraid when that bridge collapsed. Now, the word terrified has 3 syllables. And the way you can see syllables is if you put your finger on your mouth when your mouth drops, terrified. And that's going to show that the word has 3 syllables. Our next amazing word is treacherous. And treacherous means dangerous. We saw in our story that Kate faced a dangerous situation when she was crawling through the mud to get to the train station. Another dangerous situation is mountain biking. And treacherous also has 3 syllables, just like the word terrified. The amazing word bravery was in our story, and it told of Kate's bravery. Bravery just means courage or the act of being brave. A sentence that bravery is used in: Mike showed bravery. People can show bravery in a number of different ways. So the base word of our word bravery is brave, and our suffix is ERY. Our last amazing word is heroine, and that is a woman admired for her brave deeds. At the very last sentence of our story, everyone called Kate the Iowa heroine. So a heroine could be a woman that saved someone from a fire. In this story, Kate is our heroine. Our base word is hero, and our suffix is IEN. And I know y'all are familiar with the word hero. Hero is the masculine or male form of heroine. So when you're talking about female heroes, use the word heroine. Okay, so your assignment for today is a suffix activity, and it's on Google Forms, so you can find it through Schoology. So let's list 3 words with the suffix ERY. Our example of the amazing word used was bravery. You're going to come up with 3 different words with that suffix. Thanks.